Imagine having the life of your dreams. Not temporary cash and glory, but happiness and inner peace. Explore new ways to be a creator and take your own journey into greatness. Is it possible? What does it take to make that happen? It takes the person known for extreme results. He's called the cage breaker and the ultimate catalyst. Coming back from the brink of death and now crushing it for himself and his clients, this is Your Ultimate Life Podcast with Kellen Flukiger.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Your Ultimate Life. Today we're on episode 597, and I want to talk about daily energy creation. This is a big part of creating anything, right? You need energy. Things don't create themselves. Matter and energy are interchangeable forms of the same substance. Everything is energy. We know all that. And sometimes that sounds a little woo-woo and whatever. I was just introduced by a client to a cool movie of The Journey of the Universe, and I'm going to figure out how to stream that. It talks about the universe is just one giant energy event, and it's looking at it from the point of view of, quantum physics and the zero-point field and everything. Is just one interactive energy event, and in that way, you and I, we're the universe observing itself or experiencing itself in a particular energetic manifestation. So we talked about energy bombs and how everything's energy and all that kind of stuff, and then energy drains, or I called them energy sucks, the last couple days. Excuse me. And today I want to get to daily energy creation. At the end of the day, we live one day at a time. We live one moment at a time. Now, you remember a moment is 8.64 seconds. You remember how I got that? 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. That's 86,400 seconds in a day, divided by 10,000, because I said, there should be 10,000 moments in a day. That means a moment is 8.64 seconds. I love that, because that's long enough to be something and short enough to still feel like a moment. Anyway, we live moment to moment. We live day to day, and the thing that's cool about a day is you go to sleep and you wake up again. So there's a refresh and you start again. And that's a divine piece of design that I am absolutely certain was completely intentional and calculated for our growth and benefit, the opportunity to refresh, to renew, and to start each day again. So daily energy creation is a big deal. It's something that we need to do or not do, but if we want to create the most from our day, then we need to figure out how to create energy. Now, there's lots of stuff written about nutrition for the body. Good food makes you able to have energy and doesn't make you tired, and junk food and, those labels and studies are all for a reason because of how they affect the body. And we also have learned a lot in the last years about sleep. I was just on the phone with my doctor. I was doing a remote checkup because every so often, every couple of months, I check in with him because of stuff going on still with the healing from my near-death experience a couple of years ago and my medications for lungs and that sort of stuff. But anyway, in the process, we were talking about energy and how we feel. How are you feeling? And what's the energy like? Do you have energy? Do you not have it? Are you tired? And, how are your lungs and all that sort of thing. And it's interesting because it's not a mystery, but we still don't know a lot, or even if we do know a lot more about it, we don't do everything we know. So in the conversation with my doctor, one of the things we talked about was sleep. And that's another piece besides nutrition that really has to do with how our energy functions during the day. And I've been wearing a Fitbit now, a couple of different models for several years. And one of the features of that is it tracks your sleep, not just how long you sleep, but all kinds of other info about your sleep. So it tells you how many minutes you were awake during the night. If you moved around a lot, if you were restless, how many minutes you were restless, and how much time you spent in deep sleep and REM sleep, and light sleep, and I think it figures all that out by your heartbeat, the movement of your heartbeat and your breathing. And so it is able to tell, how you're doing with all that. Anyway, I've been tracking my score, and I have a regular score in high 80s, the good sleep range. Once in a while, I'll creep up into the 90s, and very occasionally I'll drop into the high 70s. I had a 79 the other day, but most of the time it's somewhere between 84 and 88. And I looked at that and was thinking about energy and how important that is. And, I've noticed that as I look at the scores and I see what the pieces are, how much time asleep and how much in deep sleep and REM and light sleep and tossing and turning, all that stuff it measures for you. When I look at that and then I do things intentionally to remedy that or to make them a little better, to see if I can get a little higher number and all that sort of stuff, it's interesting because guess what? It works. And you have a higher sleep score. And a higher sleep score means you wake up feeling, guess what? More refreshed. No surprise. Now, none of this is going to be a surprise to you. You're going to say, well, duh. Good. Because the idea here behind daily energy creation is a whole bunch of things that are just that simple. Okay? The energy we use to power our lives, electricity, is also a form of energy. We create electricity. We change the form of energy. We use falling water. We use natural gas and we burn it, and that creates heat, and then heat spins a turbine, and the spinning creates electricity. So we transfer one kind of energy into another. Now, if you're going to create your ultimate life, it isn't going to happen accidentally. You never fall up a mountain. Creating the life of purpose, prosperity, and joy that you create by serving with your divine gifts is an act of will. It is an act of choice, and it requires power. It requires energy. So what better way than to take advantage of the natural daily cycle and get up in the morning and create energy for yourself? So let's talk about how to do that, how to create energy for your ultimate life daily so you have the best possible day you can have, not just once in a while, but every single day. That means you can't get sidetracked by externalities. Now, that's kind of silly because we know things bash into our day. The car quits working or something breaks or somebody gets sick. And, Joy said she wasn't feeling well this morning, so there's a little glitch. And do we need to do something about it? And what, if anything? And, all of those things happen all the time. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how you approach mentally your day, no matter what else goes on. So here's the two parts. I'm going to talk about how to create body energy and how to create mind energy every day so you can have your ultimate life. Creating it in the body, we've touched on a little bit. Part of it is nutrition. Do you pay attention to your nutrition? There are thousands of books, thousands of articles, videos, and every other minute a new supplement comes out that's the magical thing that's either going to make you completely healthy, fix your leaky gut, help you lose weight, stand on your head, and whatever. The bottom line is, do you pay attention to your intake? Are you careful and intentional about what you put in your body so that it functions for you well? If you're not, this is an invitation to do that. Stop procrastinating. Stop pretending it's hard. Stop pretending it's too expensive. Stop pretending it doesn't taste good. Stop pretending whatever it is you're pretending that gets in the way of monitoring and taking care well of what you eat. I saw something on the internet. Yeah, it must be true. It's on the internet, right? No, anyway, a medical thing that talks about how fast our body replaces itself. Like every cell in your body replaces itself in some ridiculously short period of time. I think it's just a few months. So that means every few months, every cell in your body has been recreated. So, holy cow. That means you literally create your body and you are what you eat. That nothing could be truer. Like, what material would your body use to recreate, refurb and recreate all the cells if it's not what you eat? So the truth, you are what you eat, can't be denied, and it can't be ignored, and you can't pretend it away. Your body doesn't have anything to work with except what you put in it. And then, of course, what you breathe. I mean, you have air, and you have food, and you have water. So paying strict and careful attention to honor and care for your body is not a trivial thing. It's not an optional thing. It's a mandatory, essential, critical thing if you want to stay healthy, be able to serve, and feel good while you discover, develop, and serve with your divine gifts. So again, I'm sounding a clarion call for you to decide what you want to do. Now, I'm not trying to tell you got to be vegan or you got to be anything, but I am telling you need to pay attention to science, and you need to pay attention to your body, and you need to pay attention to your health and your energy levels and do what you can. Now, just like I said, playing with my sleep, looking, what time I go to bed and how much I relax before I go to bed and all those things does affect the sleep number. And then it affects how I feel when I wake up. I know when I get an 88, I feel way better than when I get an 82. When I get a 90, I just wake up excited that morning, and then I look, and sure enough, it was a high score. So there's a direct correlation between how you treat your body and the energy that you have to do the work you want to do, or the play. Because when you're living the ultimate life, there's no difference between work and play. Everything is joyful. It's a life of joy, purpose, prosperity, and joy, because that's all you're doing is what you want. Can you imagine that? And maybe you're already doing this. Living only every single day, doing only what you want. Well, I do that. I didn't used to think I could. I thought it was impossible, and I'm there. I only do what I want. I love it. I live every day in excitement and fun, and I created that by learning to accept the truth of what is and work with it and create the ultimate life. So this whole podcast series, nearly 600 episodes now, is about how to do that. So we talked about caring for your body. Now, sleep is the other piece of that. People, I'm a night owl, go to bed at 3 a.m. There's several medical studies that show an hour of sleep before midnight is worth 2 afterwards. So going to bed at 9 and getting up at 4 or 5 is way better than going to bed at 11 and getting up at 7. There's something about our bodies that sleep before midnight is more rejuvenating and more powerful, more beneficial and powerful in terms of restoration and energy than sleep after midnight. You can argue with that if you want to, or you can try it. And if you're used to going to bed really late, it's going to take a while to get used to that. And the best way to do that, I know. And the reason I know is because I used to work rotating shift work. And when I did, and those that do that sort of thing, you rotate every week, days, afternoons, graveyards, days, afternoons, graveyards, you have to become an expert at shifting your sleep schedule in order to perform on the job. And so I know how to do that. So if you're a late riser, late go-to-bed person, the answer is 2 things. Use light to your advantage. Learn about blue light and how your eyes react to light and the energy, the chemicals that it creates when light strikes it. And then the answer is you need to get up early, okay, so that you'll be more tired at night. And at first, since your habit is to go to bed too really late, it'll be difficult. But after a few days, your body will acclimate. I know that because I did it and because all the shift workers that I know did it. You can acclimate. And I don't mean stumble through and force yourself. I mean actually enjoy the shift in schedule. So that's body. Now let's talk for the last 3 minutes about your mind. If you want to create energy, there's one super tool that is more powerful than anything else, and that is meditation. We do not meditate to get good at meditation. We do not study and practice meditation to get good at it. We study and practice meditation to get good at life, to get good at creating energy, to get good at creativity, to get good at ideas, to get good at feeling good about ourselves, and all those things that get in the way of creating your ultimate life. So meditation is the single most effective tool. Now, there's lots of ways to do it. If you want to know something about it, read my book, Meditation, The Amazing Journey Within. There's 5 different approaches detailed in that book. I'm not saying you have to sit a certain way or say a certain thing. There's all kinds of styles to practice and learn. The key is 3 things. 1, slow down enough to be where you are. Daily, at least twice a day, 10 minutes morning and night, sit quietly with nothing in front of you, nothing on your mind. Slow down enough to be where you are. That might be difficult at first. In fact, it likely will be if you haven't done it a lot or at all. Step 2 is be still enough to notice what is there. What happens when you begin to slow down, and one system suggests focusing on the breath, some suggest focusing on a sound or guided meditation. Doesn't matter. They're all aimed at slowing down and being present, being here now with the moment and the feelings and the thoughts that are right here in front of you. If you do that, at first it'll be hard. And all these crazy thoughts come, and I got to do this, and this is stupid, and I can't, and my left foot itches, and on and on and on. Fine. Just notice the thoughts and let them go, let them go, let them go. Kind of like clouds passing overhead when you're laying on your back in a beautiful yard on a blanket, and you're looking up, and it's partly cloudy in this blue sky, and it's warm, and the clouds are kind of floating by. Let thoughts just go by like that, and you can get good at that if you practice. When you do that, what you'll notice is other thoughts come. Not the distracting, hurry-up thoughts, but other thoughts, and they feel different. They have a different texture. They feel different. Those thoughts are from your inner voice, from the divine, from spirit, from God, from the universe. Your intuition, essentially. Learning to hear that intuition is what comes next. Slow down enough to be where you are is first. Second is notice what is there. When you're frantic and your mind is racing, you can't be still enough to notice. So part 2 is be still enough to notice what is there. And those kinds of thoughts, they feel different. They have a different energy. They sparkle. They feel different. And step 3 is just trust what comes to you as truth. There's lots more to say about getting energy from the mind. And I have a whole course on energy and how to create it and how to have maximum energy in your life. But right now, that first thing, 10 minutes twice a day, slow down enough to be where you are, be still enough to notice what is there. And step 3 is trust. What comes to you is truth. That will help you with your daily energy creation as you create your ultimate life.
Open your heart and this time around.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. We hope that you take it deeply into your heart and decide for yourself how you can create anything you desire. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to this podcast and share it with your friends. As always, we'd love to hear your feedback and topic suggestions. Until tomorrow, this is Your Ultimate Life with host Kellen Flukiger.
Stand with your heart in the sky and your feet on